friends! Today I'm going to read a book called Surf's Up for Kimo, written by Carrie Germain. It was the day after Christmas on the north shore of Oahu. All the girls and boys were on their favorite playground, the ocean, trying out their new surfboards. 5.5-year-old Kimo longed to be one of them. Kimo wanted to be just like his older brothers. They were two of the best surfers on the North Shore. One day, Kimo asked his oldest brother, "Kawika, will you teach me how to surf?" "I was wondering when you would ask me that," said Kawika. "Sure I will." "When can we start?" said Kimo. "Right now," said Kawika. "The first step to becoming a surfer is to become a strong swimmer." Kimo swam every day. When he was strong enough to swim out to the surf lineup where his brothers sat on their surfboards, he knew he was ready. Kimo asked his brother Pono, "Will you teach me how to surf now that I am a strong swimmer?" "I will," Kimo said. "Pono, you've worked hard and soon you will be surfing. Now you are ready for the second step. Watch the waves so you will learn how they break." Kimo watched the waves day in and day out. He watched his brothers and where they sat on the ocean. They were always in the perfect spot to catch the wave. He watched his brothers glide across the turquoise waves, flying from the top of the wave to the bottom. It looked like so much fun. Kimo sometimes pretended he was the one riding the wave. He's thinking about riding the wave. One afternoon, Kimo's mother said, "Kimo, you have been studying those waves for hours. Why don't you come inside? I have a story to tell you." Kimo sighed. "But Mom, how long will I have to watch these waves before I can surf?" "Not much longer," Kimo's mother said. "When I was a little girl, I wanted to surf too." "You did?" "Yes, my sisters and brothers caught on faster than I did. Then I remembered something." "What did you remember?" asked Kimo. "I remembered the stories my mother told me about not giving up. When a wave came to me, one I knew that was mine, I would say, I can catch my wave. I can catch this wave. I can catch this wave and ride it all the way." That night when Kimo went to bed, he dreamed about gliding across the turquoise waves as he had dreamed many times before. As he paddled for a wave in his dream, he said his mother's words, "I can catch this wave. I can catch this wave and ride it all the way." The next morning, Kimo awoke to find his two brothers staring him in the face. "Okay, Kimo, are you ready to surf today?" they asked. Kimo was excited. He jumped out of bed, threw on his swimming trunks, and ran for the beach. He's very happy. When his brothers caught up with him, Pono handed him a surfboard. "I learned on this board, then passed it on to Pono," Kawika said. "Now it's your turn to learn on. Follow us out to the lineup," yelled Pono as he dashed for the water. Kimo was happy to lie on the old dinged board. He began paddling just like his brothers. Paddling was harder than it looked, but he kept going. His arms ached by the time he reached the spot where the waves were. He turned around, faced the beach, sat up on his board, and waited. When a wave came, he began paddling for it, but he couldn't catch it. Another wave came, and another and another. Would he ever catch a wave? Then Kimo heard another surfer say, "Hey kid, that one's got your name on it." Then he remembered his mother's words. He began repeating, "I can catch this wave. I can catch this wave and ride it all the way." Before he knew it, he was up and riding the wave just like his brothers. Across the turquoise wave he rode until he kicked out. His brothers cheered and shouted, "All right, Kimo!" Kimo was stoked. Kimo surfed every chance he got after that day, and just when he thought his life couldn't get any better, Christmas came around again, bringing with it a brand new surfboard. Aloha. I just love that book because Kimo worked so hard to learn something new, and it's always hard to learn new things, and you have to keep trying and not give up, just like Kimo did. He had to first learn how to swim, and then he had to watch the waves, and then he had to practice paddling, and then he had to figure out how to stand up. And it took him a long time to learn how to surf, but when he did, everybody was so excited. So I have some questions for you. Here they are. See if you can answer them to a grown-up or a stuffed animal friend. My first question is, what does Kimo use to surf on? What does he need to surf on? What? The next question is, how? How does he learn to surf? What are some things he does to learn how to surf? How? And the last question is, who? Who helped Kimo learn how to surf? Who were some of the people in the story who helped Kimo learn how to surf? All right, friends, thanks for reading this book with me. It's one of my very favorite books, Surf's Up for Kimo. I will see you next time.